Hello everyone and welcome back to the 5th season of the AOR PC GT3 Elite League. We are here for round 5 at Road America, in the rain. So yeah, this will be my second race I think ever in these leagues. So we will see how that plays out. Our car definitely not the best in the rain. But the track suits us because there are some long straights and definitely well prepared for this one. Practice went quite well. Obviously not competing with the best, but I think we are quite consistent on our race pace and quite confident not to make any mistakes in these tricky conditions. As we now start our flying lap, actually our last run, we still weren't able to find a time because I abandoned I think 2 or 3 other tries are made. So now we're going into the first corner and a very good exit out of there, just edging out the track down the exit as we now come down to turn 3, that is actually into second gear, a little bit off the apex there, but again the exit is very crucial to the second long, going on to the second long straight now. And I think this is somewhere here is turn 4. Now we're coming into turn 5 down the hill. Very tricky braking zone actually, just after the 150 meter board I think that is. And into first gear, here we go, here around this corner to the end of the first sector. And that was quite a reasonable first sector, was not the best definitely. And now trying to take this little left hand as tight as possible. And this kink here is quite a tricky one. Just a little bit, could have ridden the curb a little bit more, but we were a little bit cautious there. And now heavy braking zone again into second gear, just going over the curb here on the exit as well. A little bit of sliding there, but nothing too major. Now into this very nice section where our car is actually not that good, the Bentley, and this corner is called Carousel, and this corner is quite lovely because you can take so many different lines through there, and you can if you take it right, you can lose or win much time there. Now this kink here, which is also quite tricky, we managed that quite well, to be honest. And that was actually the second sector now, and in another heavy braking zone into second gear again, and we're hitting the apex and quite nice, and also very good exit out of there. And now only 2 corners to go, taking it down to third gear here. And now this quite a tricky last section actually. We're down into third gear and trying to open up this last corner as much as possible in order to get the best possible exit. And the second and the third sector especially were very good on this lap. I was very confident with that lap, and it is going to be a 2:12.1, which is a PB by 3/10, I guess. It was needed to get that 7th position on the grid. It is cocky with a master pole lap. What? I mean, this is ridiculous, isn't it? 8/10 in front of the Z4s, who are usually one of the best cars in the rain. Grandstrand Clausens, the teammates, on 2nd and 3rd. Tony in 4th. Klawutsky, very good qualifying from him in 5th. The Z4 as well. Kanuma in 6th. Then us. Then Dinda in 8th. Hideaki and Reigo rounding up the top 10. Yeah, very reasonable qualifying. I mean, it was quite close with Kanuma and Dinda there, but luckily I was stayed in front of Dinda. That was good, and I mean, I was even struggling to get a time in the end. So yeah, very happy with that. Tipple in 11th, Puff Pirate, then teammate Nostra in 13th. Not too bad, I guess. Was reasonable. Mini Black in 14th, Freddy today, Blue Red Centro, AJ and Rami were actually only in 20th. Just I think he was 3rd in Brno, so not a good qualifying for him actually. Already 3.3 seconds, so it feels quite spread out in this qualifying session, to be honest. Really, the car is pulling away from all of the other standard 2 Z4s, and then just nowhere. I mean, they're nowhere near. Then I think Dangerous Jeanette in 21st. Brownski, Maisie, Andrex, Martin van der Bent and Silva rounding up the field for the day, with 2 guys missing actually. I don't know who. Yeah, it is Papant and someone else. I don't know, to be honest. And so now starting on the grid. This entire race will be in the rain, so no transition into dry conditions, which I would have preferred, but I mean, you know, I was anyway feeling confident that we are going to do a good race today, and here we go then. Kaki's pulling off for the formation lap once again. It's actually Maisie starting inside of Kanuma because Maisie disconnected, so he has to drop back to his original position. Here we go then to the end of the formation. I'm already passing the formation point there, the corner before. And yeah, we have some cars in front of us who are side by side with Kanuma. Is definitely also a very fast car on the straight. But other than that, if we can get a very good launch, we're maybe able to tag one of these cars in front, maybe Tony or Klawutsky. We will see how that plans out. We'll definitely try to stay close to Klawutsky, and we will definitely be patient or wait until Kaki pulls off. Here, that Denver sign is where he can pull off, and here we go. He pulls up very early. I was a little bit surprised about that actually, and that was a very bad start from us. Kanuma and Klawutsky already out of sight, and Dinda making up the position of us, so we get down to P8 as we are flying through with no visibility whatsoever into turn 1, and we're braking a little bit too late for my reason, but Dinda just keeping it in front of us as well, but he runs wide, and that gives us P7 once again. So not losing any positions off the start after the first corner. And look at that visibility. I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous, especially in the cockpit cam, and especially also in the Bentley, where the visibility in the cockpit, if you're driving with a cam like me, maybe I should change it. Especially for rain conditions, it's really a bit annoying here in these opening laps. But here we're going to try to be a little bit cautious in the first laps because we can't really see much, and potential for mistakes is really high. So we'll definitely try not to do something stupid here. Klawutsky, who is dropped back to P6, and Kanuma already up to P4. So good stuff from him, and Grunstraff from P3 down to P5. So he lost 2 positions as well. And Dinda stayed in P8 behind us, and behind Dinda, I don't know who that is. I think that's Browns. No, it can't be Brownsky. Brownsky started in P19 or something. Very low down. It's not a Z4. Hideaki, I think that's Hideaki. Not mistaken. Here we go, through the carousel and the King. These 2 corners is probably these corners where we will lose most of the times compared to cars with better aero efficiency like the Z4 or something, and we will make that up on the straights, and definitely will be one of the strongest in the first sector, I guess, but that wasn't actually the case watching that race back. But we should be able to close those gaps on the straights and stuff like that. So we're now coming to the end of the first flying lap, very calm lap. You can see in the distance Kaki is pulling out quite significantly from P2, which I think is still Claessens or Tony actually. I'm not too sure if I think Tony shot up into P2, so very good stuff for him. And then Claessens, then Kanuma, Grunstraff, Klawutsky, and then me, and then Dinda, who's already dropped back 1.6 seconds, but we're also not very close to Klawutsky here. So missing the apex by a countryman here in the first corner that pushes us wide. Nothing too major. But Dinda gained 5/10 in that first corner. So noticed actually that the McLarens are very surprisingly good in the straights as well. Here we go then to the end of that lap. It wasn't a particularly good lap. 2:14.6 is not really that what I wanted. Maybe a second faster should be good. But Dinda is definitely very close now. We're dropping off of Klawutsky, which is not really that what I wanted. Staying too close is also not so good because the visibility will be very bad. But other than that, it would be better not to be under such pressure from Dinda, who's definitely close, but maybe not fast enough in that McLaren to make him move up the inside, but definitely gaining a little bit of the slipstream here. He's going up the inside for this left hand, as he's not quite close enough to try such a move. He's definitely in striking distance now. We really have to watch out for him and try to set up the pace and to pick up our pace now, and maybe catch up to the group there in front, because it's very close. Look at this, how close it is from P3 to P6 now. Here we go then. Actually, Dinda dropped a little bit back, a couple of tenths there in that king section. That in these corners have went a little bit better than, and always gained a little bit of him here in these opening stages. Definitely on an improvement here on that previous lap, which is good to see, and also closing the gap a little bit to Klawutski as we're now going to lap 6, and we did a good job. In front of Klawutski, they pulled just a tiny, I mean, it's like a second or so, and gap to Klawutski stayed quite even, and Dinda not that close anymore, which is good to see, I have to say. But always that kink there. There's where there's that 4 as well gained a little bit. Just these kinks and this long right hander. This is where we will lose time, and the straight, of course, going in our favor. I mean, it's quite. I mean, I think it's quite nice because that the cars are not like equal like the F1 games, because it's quite interesting to see what the strength of each car is and why people are picking them, and just see the preference by people concentrating on the racing there, as Claessens has an incident or just ran wide. I don't know, I'm not too sure. I think he got a extend panel, a cut track penalty there, and he will lose several positions from that. Someone who will look definitely very good in the qualifying session. So he ran a little bit wide there at the start of the 3rd sector, and now we are very close also to Konuma and Klawutski there. Konuma struggling a little bit. He was far up. I think he was in a fight for P3 even, and now he's down to P4 and dropped off Gronstra, who's now also extending his lead. Well, to Tony also extending his lead there, and we're definitely very close to Klawutski now, but visibility is bad. I don't know where to brake, and we are understeering. Oh, that was a mess, that corner, and here we go, then Claessens making up the position again. That was a messy first corner. Braked way too early, took too much speed into the first corner, understeered, had to shift down the gear again and lost the position. That was pretty horrible, but definitely didn't spin or something, and that would have been disastrous. But we lost that position to Claessens very quickly again, which is not, I mean, otherwise we would hold him up. For him, it's definitely better that he overtook it straight away, because he is definitely faster than all of these cars, than probably also Klawutski or Konuma. Their Gronstra and Claessens are pretty similar pace according to the qualifying session, and now Dinda, of course, not too far off of us. We definitely have to watch out for him again as we now make a jump again to lap 12. Nothing, I mean, so far not much battling going on, just concentration to stay close to these guys, not too close because of spray and stuff like that, but definitely doing a good job. And here we go then into the first corner, making a little bit round up of Klawutski, who's definitely now closer to Klawutski than we were ever in this race, and also consistently behind him, I think from lap 10 or something it was. So good to see that we may, this is probably the only chance we have now in these next couple of laps to put him under pressure, because on the tyre wear we won't have a chance, although he's on the pad. But tyre is pretty similar, and in the social the day before, my tyres dropped a little bit earlier than his ones, or my times at least. I don't know if the tyres, but my times at least did. So this is probably the next couple of laps will be crucial if we want to get that P6. Then it is now. We are well, it is only going to happen if he makes a mistake, because he definitely has the pace to stay in front. Pretty similar pace putting up going on at the moment between the two of us, but this is the only chance now to put some pressure on him, and maybe he makes a mistake under that pressure. And look at this section here, this is where he will gain time. Also this kink here, look at this. We're taking it quite nicely actually, a little bit better actually in Klawutski this time round. And Dinda dropping back a little bit, about 2 seconds, so he's not particularly consistent at the moment. He was definitely fast in the early stages, but not consistent, making a couple of mistakes I guess, and dropping back again, and then so he's not really a threat at the moment, which is good. we can just concentrate on the guys in front. And Kanuma not really pulling away from Klawitsky either. So it's quite spread out now. I think Klaasen's still behind Gronstar, but he overtook Klawitsky and Kanuma. So he is definitely in a chat for a very, very good position here. Maybe his first podium of the season, actually, Klaasen's. Though Tony is right in front now. And we're doing a new personal best here to 13.4, which is a very, very good lap time for me, at least. And still quite a similar situation here to the lap before. 7.6, 7/10 behind Klawitsky, but not close enough to gain enough in the slipstream in order to make a move here. A little bit, yeah, again missing the apex in the second corner. That was quite an issue for the whole of this for this entire race, actually. But just always missing that apex in that second corner. And here we go then. That's in sector 1. Still 7/10 behind Klawitsky. I mean, doesn't really change, does it? Really, it really is the task now to stay as close to him and put him under pressure, because if he makes a mistake, that is our only chance. It is really our only chance to gain a position in this race, and of course we will have to stay focused and do not make any mistakes either. This is quite the task now. Dinda gaining a little bit back on that time. Yeah, as I said, he was on some laps he was very, very fast. He was gaining like 3-4 tenths per lap sometimes, but then he made a mistake and lost about a second or so again. Very aggressive here over the curbs there in the kink. Not gaining whatsoever on Klawitsky there in that middle sector. Pulled out about 4 tenths or so. It's definitely very, very strong in that middle sector, is he? So now coming to the last sector of lap 13. Almost half of this race done. And it is, I mean, it is a race where not much battling going on. Brno, we had much battling, but well, more battling than normally have. Of course, some quiet races in this league, but it is really due to the rain. Everyone wants to don't make any mistakes, and actually we gained a position there because Tony R is in the pits, and I haven't mentioned this actually because tire strategy in the rain is going to be, if you have enough good tire wear, it will be a more stopper. Definitely, that's definitely possible, because you will lose about 40 seconds or so, maybe a little bit more in the pits. And Tony makes a very brave move, and we're now skipping to lap 22. No one in front of us is pitted, but we dropped off Klawitsky's significant way. We're not putting him under pressure anymore, and we also extended the gap to the Dinda, and now our times are starting to go slightly well. 13.8, still a very good lap, but half a second slower than our personal best. Oh, a little bit of a slide down the exit. But what is also what's quite surprising is that Klawitsky now is was closing Kanuma on these last laps, so that was quite surprising. So potential battling going on for P4 there in front of us, and we're just sitting in P6 and try to be as consistent as possible, not let the tires drop as quickly as it was the case in some of the races this season, especially Brno. Now it was absolutely ridiculous. Like Tallulah as well. I mean, both races were ridiculous on tires. Here we go then, making a little bit of pace in that space in that first sector on Klawitsky, but not too really, a tenth or so. And now on the last lap, 2.6 seconds to Klawitsky. Kanuma extended his lead again, so very good. Well done by Kanuma there to put to not fall into clutches of Klawitsky, and actually I think that's Gronstar not too far in front as well. And Klaasen's was the real surprise of this race. He just overtook Gronstar and he pulled away, and he set the same times as Kaki did in these next 20 laps or so. It was so impressive watching that back in the stream, I have to say, how he did that. And almost setting similar times, well, not almost, but being also very close to his qualifying times and setting fastest laps. Setting the fastest lap actually of this race, so that is also quite interesting. But now we are entering the final sector of this lap, missing the epic by country mile. A little bit too close for my liking, though. The curb is very, very dangerous indeed, but we just let off the throttle, not doing anything stupid. And well, gap to Kluwicki now 4 seconds, but that isn't really that much. Is Kanuma very, very close now to Kluwicki again? So yeah, I think Kanuma made a mistake there or something, I don't know. But Kaki already crossed the line about 20 seconds ago or something here, or something. And we will now come around the final corner to finish round 5 at Road America in this same spot as we did in the last race in Brno in P6. And that was an intense race in terms of concentrating because it was rain conditions and in terms of visibility, but we managed to get a decent result in once again, getting 20 points again on our scoreboard, and Kaki winning 10 seconds in the end in front of Klaassen. So but both of them, I mean, very, very good race, especially from Klaassen. Surprise of the day, I guess. Grunstein in P3, very good result for him, another podium for him after the Brno. Yeah, where he still was stuck behind us. Kanuma in 4th, Kluwicki, worth mentioning, very good race. I mean, it's only his 2nd race in the Elite League and only his 5th race overall in this league. In these leagues, it is incredible. Then 7th, Ramibu, Brago and Puff Pirate running at the top 10. Then Tipple in the 11th. I think he also qualified in the 11th, so he didn't gain or lose any positions. Tony in the end finished in P12. That's unfortunate for him after such a good opening stint, but he pitted, and that was a mistake. Central in P13, so some points going on also for the AMG Armies 2.0. The Roof of Blue Red in 14th, Andrex, Wizard of Nos after an unfortunate race for my teammate, but still a point for him. I mean, yeah. At least some points, I guess. Maisie, Friday, Silver Arrow and Martin van der Bent in the top 20. And we have Hideaki today and AJ still, we have Martin van der Bent, Hideaki today and AJ not finishing the race. And some other guys did quit their session. I think Mini Black did, sorry, not too sure anymore, to be honest. But here it is actually, and here we go. Just want to show you this championship standings. Actually, Kanuma is still leading Kaki with 1 point now, and it's Papan still staying in 3rd position. But he'll probably stay in 3rd, especially also after the next race, because he will miss the next race as well. Then it's Classes in front of Gronstra now, Rami Boo, Maisie J, and we put ourselves from P18 to P10 after this 6th position, so that is very, very good to be again in the top 10, and now we're definitely charging after these positions in front. Puff Pirate, Ragok, Tony are Jellyfish, and well, Kini doesn't count. Nostra in 16th, worth mentioning. Kluwicki with 1 point, scorer in P19, I guess it was. And that's how the constructors look. We the Flintstone teams, Flintstones Racing, that's Kaki and Dinda leading in front of Revolution Motorsport and Clean Racing Group. Oh, in 3rd. Oh, that's quite interesting. Okay, yeah, that's Grunstrand, Classes, of course. Sitting Dax and then M3 Amigos, who are leading the championship after 3 races. And they're down into P5. We are behind them with quite a significant gap. We overtook Really Bad and the Power of Dream teams in that race at Road America. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. The race as well. So a great race, I guess. Not much action, but a lot of don't know. It was definitely intense for me. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I see you next time on Dubai International Circuit for round 6 on a very, very hot track. So see you there. Bye bye.